People, deluded, I'm back again. Different settings. I'm actually away with work at this moment in time, but videos can't stop, man. So like I said, good morning. Apologies for any issues with sound and whatnot as I'm trying to get through this. And to be fair, I found out that it's actually not my mic, it's my hardware. Looking at cameras to get on a bit of a budget, not a baller, but we're trying to work with it. So bear with me in it, people. This thing ain't easy, but moving forward. It's Wednesday today. Tomorrow's obviously deadline day. Well, for England, obviously we can still sell players and abroad teams can do what they want. But in terms of incoming additions, the season starts on Sunday. We need to do our business, or whatever team you support, you need to do your business. Now, you're seeing some mad stories. Laurent to United, Eriksen to United. 1 minute Coutinho's Arsenal, Dennis Spurs. Spurs are paying 20 million. Dennis Arsenal to get it, and then he's staying. You're seeing all sorts of madness. Lukaku and Pogba stuff come to light. You're seeing the Gala to Spurs as well. It's getting quite mad and all of them sort of things. So I'll actually start with Eddie and Nketiah. I wasn't prepared to start with him, but he's come into my mind now. Eddie, lot of potential there. In fact, before I start, I just saw Wells is in talks with Watford, and he actually won't have to move far. So congratulations to Wells. He's had the injury, and I would have thought he would have been one of the first that left to get a move to a promoted club or elsewhere, because it's Wells. Maybe the signing on fee and the wages, because he's a free agent, was putting teams off. I don't know how true them claims are, so I won't speculate on such. But moving away from that, people, back to Eddie. Now, Eddie's at a tough point in his career in that last season he was on the cusp of first team at Arsenal. He obviously had the good moments scoring against Burnley. He's taking his chances in pre-season. But if we look at the facts, last season he didn't come off the bench too many times. The amount of times he travelled to the minutes he played, there's a bit of a discrepancy. Do you get it, people? He's right now he's third choice. He's the depth sort of guy, but he needs to go and play football. Based on last season, would he play? I don't know. Maybe a year under Emery, he might deem that you're sharper and whatnot. But you've got Lacazette, you've got Aubameyang, Reece Nelson is back, and Pepe. Now, all of these players that I just listed are not necessarily strikers, but whether we play 3 up top, 1 up top, or whatever, someone is going to have to miss out according to what Emery wants to do, because they're the attacking positions. You get it? So he's really, for me, if you're Eddie, if you're Joe, Joe's staying, but if you're Eddie, Joe, Emil, Nelson as well, you've got Amici left as well. You've got to be trying to get 20 games to some capacity next season, because that's the only way I believe these lot will really grow as footballers, simply by playing. I'm not saying you can't develop. I think Joe will make some appearances. Currently, do I feel he'll necessarily make 20? It remains to be seen, but you get the point. You need to make inroads. If they look back a year from now, in what's the date today? We're in August. What's the date? If they look back in a year's time on the 7th of August and they haven't developed, then I believe it's their fault, because they've got to be selfish now. Now, Eddie allegedly had 23 to 30 clubs interested in him. Clubs from Germany, even from last January. You've seen Leeds, you've seen Swansea, you've seen Bristol, who allegedly he's due for a medical with. And to be fair, if true, Bristol's a good move for him. Admittedly, I would like him to go to Germany and whatnot, but Bristol's a good move for him. First and foremost, for the last year they've been linked with him, people. They've been dying to get him down to Aston Gate, is where they play, I believe. If someone has been dying to get you to their club, then you're more likely to play football and be a central part, 20 games. Obviously, if he does go and score goals in the Championship, people say, oh, it's the Championship, he's got to go and do it in the top league and whatnot. And all of that's true. Or he's got to be able to repeat it. But that's the level he needs to go at. He scores goals for fun at 23's level. He scored goals for fun in pre-season. It's about doing that week in, week out. It's about playing to an extreme high standard when you're not necessarily scoring. Do you get it, people? He's got to go somewhere where they don't care that he's young Eddie and developing, like I've just said. They just look at it. They need a striker. He's an Arsenal striker. He needs to go and hit the ground running, playing in front of however many thousand people are in Bristol Stadium. So they've been intent to get him. So for me, if they've been intent, their manager who's got a track record of giving young players chances, it's a good move. Obviously, if you look around their squad, they've just signed Jay De Silva as well from Chelsea. I believe they permanently signed Casey Palmer. Is Tyler Moore there, former Lens boy, England Youth International? There's a couple youth players in and around that side, people. So if they've got a mandate, I don't know if they've got a mandate, but if they're giving youth players a chance and whatnot, then it'd be a good move for him. I'd preferably, if I was him, like to go to Augsburg or where the Bremen teams he's been linked with, but only he'll know. There's also the possibility he could stay, but there's reports he's going for his medical and doing his thing in that regards. Moving on from that, people, if we move on to Mesut Özil. I'm sure you've all seen, apparently DC United want Mesut Ozil in January. Apparently wages are not going to be a problem, and this could be something. I mean, if Ozil's not part of Emery's plans, with Ceballos and obviously Willock coming in and other attacking sort of options, only certain amount of players can play. We all know last season Emery and Ozil had the spat, so this could be good for all parties if he does go in January. Apparently wages are not an issue. I know he's comfortable in London, but the chance to play and live in America, one of the major cities in DC as well, it's an opportunity you can't turn down. Obviously, you've seen that Rooney is leaving them to join Derby, so a lot of that could be, a lot of the links to Ozil and the MLS could be as a result of that. Apparently, Arsenal are yet to actually hear from DC, but Ozil's people are going to talk with the relevant parties, and we'll see how that one develops. Moving on to Kieran Tierney, people, and Neil Lennon said, in regards to Arsenal making a third bid, he said, "We were talking about it on the plane over here, as it's all gone a bit quiet at the moment, which is surprising for me. It may or may not happen now." Gradually, this guy's stance is changing bit by bit, so maybe he is open to selling him. He said, he went on to obviously say, "Listen, I know these deals can get done at a minute to 12. It can get done on the afternoon or later in the evening. I'd be surprised if there wasn't another offer. For Kieran, but delighted too. It's just quiet at the moment with no new information. He'll be fit in a week or two. He still has some adductor pain, but I think the public problem is starting to settle, and he's over the double hernia. As well, I know there is talk of him being out for 8 weeks, but that's nonsense." So that's what you want to hear, people. I believed it because I'm just a football fan. I don't know. I thought he'd be out for the season, or not the season, but the start. This shows that possibly they've got their replacements. You see, allegedly they're in talks for Rico Henry of Brentford. They've signed their left back. Maybe this shows that they want to not get rid of him, but they're more open to selling him. Maybe something is going on in the backgrounds and whatnot. I don't want to say I'm confident about bringing Tierney in, because at the end of the day, I'm not Raul Sanllehi. I'm not part of the team, but it would be a shame if we didn't complete the move for the 22-year-old, because it's dragged out, because it's been a long public pursuit. And you've actually seen some reports saying we've been looking at him for a year or two and whatnot. So hopefully that one gets over the line. I believe we need a left back. Yes, people will look at the fact that we've got Monreal and Kolasinac at left back, and for depth purposes, there's two people fighting for one position. That's what we praise. There's no issues in that regards. But for me, people, I believe we need a left back. Monreal is getting on a bit, and he's been a consistent, loyal and trusted member of Arsenal on the large part, but every dog has its day. He's getting on a bit, really and truly. Kieran Tierney presents an option of bringing in a solid left back, 22 years of age, partnering with Holding and possibly next season Saliba. Hopefully this season another centre half comes, Bellerin to come back. You just signed Leno last season, give him a decent 4 in front of him to be part of, and also part of that back 5, and then you move forward. You lot always hear me, I never change my tune. Defence is where it all starts. We've got all these great attackers, will score all these goals, but it will come down to how we defend. Just like last season, clean sheets, whether it's how we start games and going 1-0 down when we don't need to, and not necessarily rescuing that game back, or conceding dumb goals when it's 1-0 and then it's 1-1, we only go with a point. How we defend is going to make the difference, people. Kolasinac, I like him. He's very good in the final third. I like him in the squad. You can get away with him against some teams. I just feel defensively he's not switched on enough. He's shown no improvement. If he was to improve, then maybe my stance on the left back will change, because he'd be, I don't want to say complete left back, but if he could marry the defensive aspects with what I like about him going forward, even though his crosses can be a bit weird at times, he'd be a competent left back for us. And maybe bringing in Tierney makes him raise his game, because Coleman might think to a degree, Monreal, you're getting on a bit, I might take your space. Do you get it, people? So we'll see how that one develops. Moving on, apparently Rugani, we're moving on from that. We're getting on in that. Apparently a journalist has said we've agreed a salary of $4 million per season with him. All we need to do is agree some sort of deal with Juventus. You're seeing everything from a potential deal could be a 2-year loan with a mandatory purchase of 40 million euros. You've seen 50. I've seen as low as 30. Apparently Wolves went in for him and he wasn't too interested within that. So we'll see how that one develops as well. Allegedly Jenkinson, it's a done deal. Him going to Nottingham Forest for £3 million. Just getting people off the books. Who else is there? Apparently Neny is in talks with Galatasaray. Now that's all coming out of Turkey, so I don't know how valid them claims are. Obviously we spoke about Coutinho. 1 minute he's coming, then he's not. I will take him, but I want a centre half and a left back as well. And when I say take, I think that's a disrespect to Coutinho. He's still a bad boy footballer. I mean, for Spurs, that would be some coup, to be fair, if they get Coutinho and or Dybala. So we'll see how that one develops. In regards to Upamecano, apparently we've bidded a second time and it's been rejected, but there are reports coming out of Germany that them claims are actually false. So we'll see how that one develops, people. We're going a bit off topic, but Masengo, who's joined Bristol City and should be playing with Eddie if he completes a move there, I really like him. I can't believe Monaco let him go for 8 million with a 20% sell-on clause. I've seen a lot of him and I really like him, and I think Monaco lost him. And they lost, who's the other guy that went Nice? Is it, I can't say his name, Krifrom, I can't say it, man. You don't know what I'm talking about. He played against Chelsea in the youth gem. They lost him to Nice and they sold this guy. Now they've still got Enzo Milio, who is a bit younger than these lot, who's going to be a great footballer, but I can't believe it. Masengo, let's let him develop. He's a young man, he's 18 or so. Let's let him develop and play there and whatnot. But I do think Bristol are going to make a healthy return on the £8 million they spent on him. And he's someone I'm going to try and watch a lot in the Championship and whatnot, especially if Thingy Eddie does go there. Finally, I guess Koscielny's officially gone to Bordeaux, and obviously he was here for nine years. Loyal, well, I'm using the word loyal a bit loosely now, but he was a consistent serviceman. He had some highs, he had some lows. He come a long way from the sort of player he was initially. He's put his body on the line numerous times. He's been a good player for us, to be fair with you. And last season he did his thing when a lot of people, myself included, thought he was finished. So yeah, man, he's got his move to Bordeaux. Good luck to him. That's the end of the chapter in regards to Arsenal and him. Obviously, you all saw the video that Bordeaux put up where he's taking off the Arsenal shirt, the old Arsenal thing, and throwing it on the floor or whatever. And I mean, what do you expect, man? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Koscielny, I don't think he cares about being an Arsenal legend or being Arsenal this and that, but it's over for him. I mean, yeah, to be fair with you, I mean, it's done. Like, good luck to you, Koscielny. I don't really want to waste breath on you, but I will say to fans who were twerking for him, like, people were defending Koscielny's actions, same way they defending Giroud, and you saw Giroud's comments in regards to Arsenal and Chelsea, and you saw Koscielny, how Koscielny's behaving. So loyalty is not really much in Giroud's case, but loyalty is a myth, and it just shows you why you shouldn't just blindlessly defend people. I don't feel we'll ever hear the full story in regards to Koscielny, and if you look at his the Insta post, you saw him say the club and the teammates and everyone is known for months. So there's clearly more to the story. I don't feel anybody's clean. The club might have done him dirty in that regards as well, but at the end of the day, he's contracted. He should have went on pre-season tour. He didn't go in there. I understand it, because if I was his agent or him, I might have done the same thing to get the move, because at the end of the day, the end goal was to leave, and he's done it. That's the only issue I have with not going on pre-season. It is what it is, man. It really is what it is. He's got his move. Goodbye, good riddance. I'm not even too sure if Bordeaux in the Europa League or whatever. But hopefully Mbappe twists his my man up and whatnot. But I would say good luck to Koscielny, but I honestly don't give a F, people, really and truly, man. It is what it is. It's nice to see we're getting people off the wages and whatnot. I mean, Koscielny, 5 million, Bielik, 10. Bring that equals 15. You've got obviously bringing about 18 when you consider Jenkinson. These are not mad fees, but they're getting people off the wages, and it's, in theory, it could be added to cash buffers to one last push for a centre-half or whatever. Who knows what's going to happen in that regards, people, but that's all I found anyways, people. Obviously, if things happen tomorrow, they happen tomorrow, but for now, people, DG, thank you for watching and rocking. I'm out.